Konnichiwa Sekai, Ink again, and I'm back with the Aster Region, my fan-made Pokemon region combining the Midwestern United States and the Kansai region of Japan. And before we begin today, I have a special announcement. Because my art is faster than my editing, I have now reached, officially, 100 of my 150 Pokemon goal. That's right, baby, we're 2/3 the way through, though I've yet to show lots of the ones that are already made. Alright, now that we got that out of the way, since the last few episodes have been based more on the tech aspect of the tech versus nature, let's focus on the nature aspect. And given this is the Midwest, there's one place we should definitely start. The farm. Now, we already have sheep and fire-breathing pigs and chickens, but what is the biggest farm animal in the United States? Cattle. And I had just the yokai for that kind of Pokemon. Please give a warm welcome to the normal and poison types, Kumu and Kumilk. They're spider cows! These two are based on the Ushioni, a half-bull, half-spider demon. And they are also the main source of milk in Aster, with one little catch. Their milk is poisonous. Granted, the citizens of Aster have been drinking it so long they've built up an immunity, hence their normal poison type, as it's supposed to be poisonous, but it's not as effective anymore. This is actually a joke on lactose intolerance in general, as by all accounts, humans aren't meant to drink milk, but we brute-forced our digestive tracts into doing it. I just wanted to base him on that little bit of bizarre human history. And obviously, if we're talking about farm-based Pokemon in the Midwest region, we had to do corn. So say hello to little Amaze. Isn't it amazing? But anyway, bad puns aside, Amaze here is the Badoo of its line. It's just a simple grass type and an ear of corn that's amazed by everything. It really becomes amazing when it evolves into Arcorn. Arcane Corn. When Amaze settles themselves down and root into Aster's uniquely mineraled soil, they begin to develop psychic abilities, almost like magic. They use these abilities to ward off their avian predators, making them more scarecrow-like. And soon enough, they will master these arcane abilities to become Mazician. Okay, being completely honest, this Pokemon was made on a dare. I was dared by a friend to make a corn wizard, so I did. I hope you're happy, Rose. But I guess in defense of that dare, what else was I supposed to do with a corn Pokemon? I guess that the Midwest does have a pretty high amount of D&D and Magic the Gathering nerds, mostly because there's just nothing to do here. So, combined the pastime of a boring area with a boring plant. Fitting. Of course, I also said this line has avian predators. Let's reveal those, shall we? Say hello to the poison flying type Asterian Murkrow. Quite sickly looking compared to its Jotonian cousins, That's because the Murk in its name doesn't refer to murking someone. It refers to the murky skies of the Aster region during its industrial period, where pollution was at an all-time high. Asterian Murkrow have always had special power over the wind. They used this to effectively be the cleanup crew for Aster's polluted skies. Unfortunately, the more time they spent in the smog, the more adaptive to it they became, changing them permanently. And with this change came a new evolution. Infectcrow. This Pokemon shares an inspiration with Shiftry, both being based on Tengu, though specifically different varieties of Tengu. Infectcrow is based more on the bird-like Tengu, who are often seen as omens of ill fortune. Just like crows, to be honest. For the design, I took cues from plague doctors, as despite their unnerving look to us, they were always trying to help. This Pokemon, in turn, is also trying to help, by using its powers over the wind to spread away any toxic air. Unfortunately, because of this, people see groups of Infectcrow and take it as an omen of ill fate. But Murkrow's not the only thing that Arcorn has to deal with. They also have to deal with the flying bug type, Logust. For the record, I made this before I figured out Nimble was a thing. Now admittedly, Logust is a pretty simple Pokemon. It's got those little aviator goggles, and its front legs are in a little ikitakimasu pose. But apart from that, not much going on. But when these little guys meet up with all their friends, they become Logust Swarm form. They enter this form via their signature ability, Swarmcast, which is effectively just schooling in every way, except it boosts power to wind-based moves, as they're quite clearly a tornado of locusts. The Midwest is known as Tornado Country for a very good reason, after all, and given that swarms of locusts can be so big they sometimes show up on weather forecasts, I figured combining these two would create the ultimate danger to all crops in Aster. Yeah, these things can eat through a lot very fast. The constant suction of their flying tornado formation brings in basically anything they'd want to eat. Unfortunately, it also brings in something that wants to eat them. Whale Lantern! As the big guy said himself, this is the flying type Whale Lantern, the biggest thing in Aster's skies. This thing is basically what happens when you cross a Koinobori with a whale shark. Because of that Koinobori inspiration, these guys are basically weightless. They float around in Aster's wind currents, harmlessly floating by, except when they run into a plane. The only thing they are of conscious danger to are, in fact, Logust. They're the main thing keeping Logust from decimating Aster's crops. Their bodies give off a faint glow, allowing those to look up in the night sky and see pods of them come swimming through the air. Obviously, I just wanted another big head-empty Pokemon for the decks, but this one is also special in that it's the ace of our flying-type gym leader, who I will show at a later date. And it has a pre-evolution. Our last Pokemon of the night, say hello to Lumino, a luminous minnow. Since Whale Lantern was one of the biggest species of shark, I wanted Lumino to be based on one of the smallest, the Dwarf Lantern Shark. And with Dwarf Lantern Shark, I obviously tied in the inspiration of Chinese lanterns, which worked well with the weightless Koinobori thing. Similar to Charvel, it's just a head-empty shark, except this time, much smaller. And that's the last one I got for you this time. What do you think of these new Mon? Any of them going on your team? Well, regardless, make sure to like and subscribe so I can get more videos out here. If all goes well, the wait for my next video won't be as long. But until then, ink out.